digging somebody's outhouse. Sound like a plan? Something I can honestly say I never saw myself doing, but it does seem like fun now. Okay, so why am I digging in an outhouse? Well, I don't even know that I can find the thing. I'm looking for old privies on old home sites. And I have got a makeshift redneck probe that I'm going to stick down in the ground, and I'll show you when we get there. And I'm hoping I hear that probe hit glass down in there, and if it does, I'm going to start digging, see if we can find some bottles. Also bring in my metal detector in case I can't find the privy, and I will do some metal detecting, and y'all come along with me. I tell you what, detecting don't get any easier than this right here. This looks like it's been raked, but it's actually a forest fire. Came through here. And there is no leaf litter. All of this in here, this has been detected before, and to be honest with you, I've never found much. But all of this up in here was just thick with leaves. And now we're down to bare ground. So there's something somebody left. Check out that stump, that's kind of cool looking. Anyway, this is a good place to detect. Now, right up here, right there is a little sinkhole that I thought was maybe a privy. And I did some probing, and I got down about 3 feet, and I was still hitting rock. So maybe just a tree popped up in there or something. But I'll keep looking around for a place that looks likely. Right now, though, I'm gonna start detecting a little bit. Well, this is a neat little find. I saw that, I just thought a rolled up piece of copper, but I wiped it off a little bit more, and it's a pendant. And to me, it looks like one of those Jack in the Pulpit plants. That's kind of cool. Pretty neat looking. Well, this place is, well, it's well over 100 years old, so I'll clean that up, and that has anything on it at all. I'll show it to you again. Nice little relic, though. Ever since that little piece of jewelry, I haven't had too much luck. Just a handful of old shotgun shells. Now, I picked it up, but I put it right back down where it was, and just like it was laying. I'm not sure what that is. I thought maybe a compact at first, but I think now I've got the back of a pocket watch, and it's got some ornate that I am hoping comes through. Now, I'm scared to death if I wipe this too hard that I'm going to lose whatever's on there, but I can't be sure. I think I see a Masonic symbol. Maybe completely wrong on that. I'm going to try to gently clean this up, and if I can see anything on it, I'll show you. Now, that's an odd little surface find. I'd really like to know what that came off of, but I don't have a clue. So if anybody knows, let me know. I'm hoping that ain't like a crack pipe or something. It's an odd place for somebody to be smoking crack, but I guess people that smoke crack don't necessarily think straight all the time. Anyway, I don't think that's what it is, but let me know if you have any idea. Alright, this is one of the coolest things I think I've ever found. Oh, I hope somebody can tell me what this is, and I'm hoping that it's Native American. Do y'all see that? Sitting right there. What have I got? Wow. I'm wondering if that's one of those, if it's used for fire starting. That is just nuts. Wow. All right. Well, you artifact guys gonna have to help me out on this one. Be interesting what y'all say. It's a keeper for sure. Okay guys, I got some of these finds cleaned up a little bit better. Now this little circular mark inside that pendant is interesting. I think there was another piece attached, and like I still think it looks like a jack-in-the-pulpit plant, and they have a little part of the flower that comes up and out, and I suspect maybe that was included in this pendant, and whatever they used to attach that part has broken off. That's my best guess anyway. Okay, now I cleaned up my pocket watch back a little bit, and you can tell it's in rough shape, and I really am not able to get any design. I don't think there's anything Masonic on there now that I've got it this far cleaned up, but I want to do a little experiment. Since it is not worth anything, and it's in such rough shape, let's put a little olive oil on there. Now that may completely mess everything up. It may make it so dark we can't see anything, or it might just help us. So let's try this. And we'll see if that doesn't help some of that, maybe some of that gilt to pop through a little bit. All right, let's see what we got. Well, tell you what, let me rub this up a little bit more. I'm going to have to turn the camera off. I'll show you when I get it done. Yeah, I'd say that definitely helped. I can see a lot more detail. So pretty cool. Okay, well, now you know what to do if you got something crusty that's got a little gilt on it. I'd say that improved it. Alright, a few other things to show you. Now, I won a contest, another contest. And this was from a couple of diggers from down in Florida, Joel and Ashley from Chrononaut Metal Detecting. And I want to show you what they sent me. Really pretty cool. It's actually a bucket list item for me. I've never dug a war nickel. And Joel digs more war nickels than any human being I've ever met. He has a knack for finding old war nickels. And so in their giveaway, I got a complete set, 1942, 43, 44, and 45. And they're all Philadelphia. That's pretty cool. I'm still hoping for the day that I find one myself. Now, for those of you that don't know what a war nickel is, these contain silver. I think it's 35% silver. So that's pretty cool. A little silver coin. Now, they also had a t-shirt that they were giving away, but I'm a big old boy. And I said, guys, don't worry about that t-shirt. So they sent me that. What about that? They did not have to do that. A silver $50, and this is the 90% variety, 90% silver, and it is in great shape. Now, something else they helped me out with. I dug this just a little while back, and I actually lost the footage of digging it, but I kept it. Now, I had no clue. I was not really amazed with this find. I thought honestly it went off of some tool handle or something. But Joel dug one, and he knew what it was. Turns out, this is something called a tent tensioner, and this thing was patented back in 1880 and was used by the military from the 1880s right on up into World War I. Now, this is really cool. This is one of those little pieces that once I knew what it was, my curiosity took over, and I had to find out how this thing worked. So at the very end of this little video, we're going to take this outside, and it works great. It's a really ingenious little device. So I'm going to show you how this tent tensioner works at the end. A couple other things here. Okay, I've got a little more information on my artifact. This was not used for starting fires. Now, a lot of you probably recognize that really quickly. You don't rub a stick on a rock to create fire. You create sawdust that way. And I knew that. I should have known that. But the holes they just had me thinking in that direction. Now, I'm going to give you a really good look at this thing all the way around. Some people have speculated this is an unfinished pendant or a gorget, I believe is how you pronounce that word. Basically something that the Indians would wear, almost like a piece of jewelry. I'm not convinced of that. Also, I want you to notice this bevel right here. I really don't have a clue what this is. Probably never will. Been a lot of good guesses, but nothing that really satisfies me. I do want to leave you with a little interesting story, though. Showed this to a friend of mine. She's a girl I work with. She said, you know, I know somebody that lives on the reservation. We live very close to the Cherokee Indian Reservation. Can I show this to them? So she showed them the picture, I think through a text, and the response back was very curious. They started asking questions about where it had been found and acting somewhat strange, apparently, and basically said I would do well to put this back, and that I need to be careful or I would be visited by silent people. Now, I have no idea what any of that means, and I'm not really too concerned one way or the other. Just for your information, this was not found at a place that I shouldn't have been. This is really, I think, just a random dropped artifact, and I stumbled upon it. That was a pretty curious response anyway. I thought I'd tell you about it. But for now, that's just going to stay on my shelf, and I'm going to look at it and wonder. One last thing, history related. I didn't dig this up, but I know you guys like history as much as I do. This is one of my favorite old things in my collection. My grandfather gave me this book, and it's very old. I want you to look at the inscription. Newton Doggett, Hillsboro, Ohio, November 11th, 1848. I started doing a little genealogy on this guy, Newton Doggett. Now, he's not in my family, and I don't know how my grandfather even came by this book. The back has a really interesting little drawing that I suspect is possibly military related. That writing on the left side of the banner may be something to do with a unit. I think I see the word 9th there in the middle. Can't prove that though. Anyway, as I'm doing genealogy on Newton Doggett, I find out that Newton Doggett, his grandmother, was the sister of a man named Squire Boone. If you know history, you know who Squire Boone was. He was the father of a man named Daniel Boone. One of my favorite personal possessions. Okay, let's go see how that tent tensioner works, and I'm done. Alright, so here's how this works. I'm going to pretend the truck is a tent, right? You'd have a bunch of lines, 6 or 8 lines coming off the roof of that tent down to stakes. Needed to be able to tighten those to make that tent nice and taut. So you got a stake down here. Okay, so you run your line just like this, right here, from the tent through there, out here, and then back into this hole and just tie a knot. Put the loop around your stake, and then all you're going to do is slide this up. And watch this. This is pretty cool. Just pull. Stays put. You really put a lot of pressure on those things. That's pretty dang cool. Anyway, just thought I'd share it with you guys in case you found one, didn't know what it was.